What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 35 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the final episode of Season 2, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And of course, as always, make sure to get subscribed if you are new for more future F1 content as we wrap off Season 2 and go towards Season 3. So, this is it, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last race of the season and our final race of Red Bull. In terms of our next team, we're still unsure. No contract has been signed as of yet. No R&D points to be, or no upgrades going on the car. There's no point putting them on now. We won't get an upgrade in before the last round. Power unit, that will go for one more turbocharger after the last one went. That's our third turbocharger that's gone down this season. I'm thoroughly disappointed in that department. So we'll put a sixth one in here because we've really got nothing left to race for except for P4 in the Drivers' Championship. Of course, we only lead that by 4 points over Lando. Max goes into the last race 14 points back from Lewis. He's going to need a bit of help behind him if he wants to win this first World Championship. But Red Bull 40 points back from Mercedes after the 1-2 was jeopardised in Jeddah last time out. Mercedes more or less with a hand and four fingers on the constructors at this point. It'll take a 1-2 from us at Red Bull, and then obviously a double step up from Mercedes for us to beat them now. So we're going to this last race then with no real stress, heads held high, and let's go now to qualifying to get this race weekend underway. So here we go then, last qualifying session of the season here in Abu Dhabi, getting set to go for also our last race around this layout of the Yas Marina circuit. Of course, we ran it last season in 2020. This will be the last race, of course. If those of you who will know that the actual Abu Dhabi Grand Prix this year was run under the new layout, the current layout, but obviously we didn't get that on the F1 games until F1 22. So next season we get to the season 3 finale, we'll get to race on that track for the first time here in Yas Marina. So going on to our first qualifying laps here on the circuit and looking to try and nab one last decent qualifying position. Perhaps seen a pole, haven't been on pole since Imola, so it's been quite a while. That was 14 races ago, counting this one. So into turn 1 then to get our first lap underway. Kimi Räikkönen and the Alfa Romeo there in front of us could be a concern, because we're a lot faster than the Alfa Romeo is on our first lap. As we make our way through turn 3, hitting the bollard already, so try and stay away from those curbs later on in our other runs. Going into turn number 5 and 6 now, that first chicane. Of course, that is now a straight run down towards where it's now turn 5, it's turn 7 here. Räikkönen now there in front, so we could get a decent toe off the Alfa Romeo going down towards turn number 8 in the DRS zone. That could try and get us some time on this first lap, and from there we'll see if we can make any improvements. Obviously, you guys will know by now, the out lap, the first lap we do is almost always a banker, and then from there we'll see if we can make improvements on a second run on this set of tyres. So into turn 8 though, right behind Räikkönen, that'll cost us a lot of time in the remainder of the lap. Giovinazzi over the line, first time on the board, 1:35.8 will come through to set a 1:35.1. So the fastest lap time for now is to make our way through. But as you come through in towards turn 1, Räikkönen gets out of the way, and we'll start to go on our way again, trying to set a second lap time here. So make our way back towards turns 3 and 4. Norris and Alonso go fast enough, but we're 7 tenths, 8 tenths up going into the last sector, a purple sector 2 as well. Could get close to try and get a provisional pole back. He's come off the last corner, but of course, Bottas, Verstappen and Hamilton yet to make their laps yet. Right now it's 1 minute 34.3 for us. P2 was about 10th off of Norris. So we go back to the garage, let's complete our first run, bolt on our second set of soft tyres. By the time we come around for our last lap, we're down to P7 in the order, and not really improving on this last lap. There were a few too many mistakes. We got caught by Williams at the start of the lap, unfortunately, so not a lot could be done there. It's coming through the last couple of corners here to complete our third and final qualifying lap at the end of the session, and the last qualifying session of the season will have us down in 7th place. Disappointing. Hopefully we can try and make up some places on the start with grid penalties for the rest of the field. We'll try and avoid those for ourselves and hopefully get some good points in the race.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Verstappen, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So Verstappen on pole, then puts himself in the best possible seat to try and win the World Championship. Hamilton second, Bottas lines up third, we qualify in 7th. Hopefully, as I say, we'll get some grid penalties in front of us to help us push up the order a little bit. But our only aim here is to try and do our best to win the race and get our last few points to cap off the season with Red Bull. Let's do this.
It's the final chapter of the season then here at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. It's a race where the pole sitter failed to finish in 3 of the first 4 events. A front row start here is by no means a guarantee of victory, so we go into battle once more. as we get underway at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at the Yas Marina circuit through 21 corners and a lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass, with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, turns 8 and turn 11. Plenty of close racing then, plenty of speed, and I hope plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Cohen, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, Ocon, Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, Norris, Russell, Pierre Gasly. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Latifi. Tsunoda. They've taken a grid penalty. Mick Schumacher. Antonio Giovinazzi. And Nikita Mazepin. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Sainz. And Max Verstappen completes the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
This is the last race of the season. We need points today to have a chance of taking the Constructors' title.
Well, talented Verstappen, who sacrificed his pole position grid slots to put on a fresh power unit and go dead last. So Hamilton and Bottas on the front row. We line up P4 for the last race here in Abu Dhabi. And all of a sudden, the Constructors' Championship, it wasn't a long shot already, it's a huge shot now. It's going to be soft tyres and then 2 sets of mediums to get us to the end of the Grand Prix here. Pitting in lap number 7, 11 laps on the first set of mediums and 10 on the second stint. So 28 laps here to conclude what has been a tough season here at Red Bull. Let's try and finish it off on a high note. Here come the lights then for the last race of the 2021 season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, about to get underway. The two Mercedes cars on the front row. Hamilton on pole, Bottas alongside him. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are underway. It's an awful start. Got really bogged down there off the line. Leclerc and Vettel go charging through. Vettel with a great qualifying into turn number 1. There go the two cars in front of us. Vettel will try and get one corner exit here. Out of 1. Vettel goes over the curbs. It's like advantage to go to the inside for turn 2 and through 3 now. Back into P5, but obviously losing 1 place off the start. Hamilton's bolted there. Bottas second, Ricciardo third, Leclerc fourth, and we round at the top 5 right now. Verstappen's made a few places in the back. He's got some work to do to try and come back through the order in this Grand Prix to make our way through turns 5 and 6. Leclerc, our next target, is to go into turn number 7 here, but a gingerly start to this first lap. Pushing on now later on into the first lap and going down towards turn 11 for the first time. Closing on Leclerc, going to try and make a move to the inside of the racetrack if we can. There's a look from the grandstands to go down the inside of the Monegasque in the Ferrari, going towards turn number 11. Of course, again, one of the remodified corners on the Yas Marina circuit for next year. Making the move stick, don't get back into 4th place over Leclerc, and we'll start getting to work on chasing down Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren now for the last spot on the podium. If we can't try and win the race, we've got to try and get a podium, but those Mercedes cars are looking dangerously quick, and Verstappen's may have some early places here, so a good start from, but he's got a lot more work to do, as I say, over these next 27 laps to get himself back into contention for this World Championship. On to lap 3 though, DRS in play for the first time on Leclerc, right on our chuff there, going down towards turn number 8 and closing in all the time. We're going to go to the outside of the racetrack. We're going to try and defend the inside, going into the braking zone. He's still there, pulls alongside us to go into the left-hander, into the chicane here, but Leclerc on our inside will try and sort of shut the door, squeeze him a bit on the apex, going through turn 9 and into turn 10 now, pulling back in front, maintaining P4, but Leclerc might come back at us here with DRS once again, going down towards 11, closing all the time, but won't get close enough though to go for a move, I don't think. We're a bit too early there, going into the left-hander though. Leclerc sees a chance to the inside, makes contact with no regard for the Red Bull there on his right-hand side, so Leclerc falls back and Vettel tries to challenge him as a result. We maintain P4 for now. On to lap 4 of this race. He's still there, right on our tail at this point. Vettel's challenge was fleeting, but he'll maintain P6 for now, but Leclerc will continue to work on chasing us down. A bit wide there through turn 7. Leclerc sees a chance on the inside on corner exit, and DRS once again to his advantage to come down towards turn 8. Leclerc with another good chance here, is trying to take P4 away from us, going down the inside towards the braking zone of the left-hander, and Leclerc pulls alongside, goes ahead into 4th place. Let's try and get him back on the inside if we can, switching back to the inside line now for the left-hander, avoiding contact narrowly, nothing there. Obviously Leclerc gave us a bump earlier, so we could easily get payback to that, but not for now. We'll maintain P4, but Leclerc may come back at us here once again with DRS, as I say, but looks like Vettel and Alonso getting close now, still challenge him for P5 now as they make our way down towards turn 11. So we're safe for now in 4th place. Vettel actually making the pass for a second there. Those two going side by side into turn number 11. Of course, former teammates from a year ago to make our way out of turn 13 and now 14. But P4 for for us, but Ricciardo a further bit down the road now.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
Well, it's nice to get a warning about the MGU-H. Normally the car just blows and we don't actually get a chance to respond. But on to lap 7 now. Leclerc still there, right on our tail. He's managed to dispatch Vettel once again. Vettel came into the pit lane to change onto his first set, I believe, of medium tyres. And Leclerc once again challenging us for position as we run down towards turn number 8 on the circuit. Leclerc closing all the time, going to try and go to the outside once again. We'll defend the inside into the braking zone to make our way into the left-hander now. Trying to stay in front of him and trying to shut the door on corner exit. He's still there inside. Again, we'll have to squeeze him a bit more. We can get away with it slightly more because he's not obviously side by side with us. But on corner exit again, P4 still ours. But now on lap 9, it is time to make our first stop of this Grand Prix. There's a change in strategy. We'll stay on these soft tyres a little bit longer than was anticipated. And as a result, we'll go on to a second set of soft tyres here and then one more set of mediums to get us to checker flag at the end of the Grand Prix. Those coming around lap 18 or so. So into the pit lane for the first of our final 2 stops today with Red Bull. 2.4 seconds, so that's actually quite good. Leclerc pitted a lap before we did, so it would be crucial to try and beat him out and maintain our spot going into turns at number 5 and 6 again. It's of course quite a long pit exit going underneath the circuit in Abu Dhabi and then obviously going under and then up through the gears again through towards turns 2 and 3. As they let go out then, Russell and Leclerc right behind us here on corner exit, going through turn 3 now, but getting in front, of course, the Williams car, holding off the Ferrari for now. We over the curves bit there on corner exit of turn 3, but all in all, keeping the car under control, and we'll start to get to work now on chasing down Ricciardo, who pitted onto a set of medium tyres. That was our plan originally, remember, and now we've made that change. So, I mean, the soft tyres worked out quite nicely in the first stint, but on to lap 16 though. Not a lot going on at this point of the Grand Prix. We're all quite by ourselves now. Russell held Leclerc for a little bit before he made his stop. Leclerc about 4.5 seconds behind us, and Mick Schumacher's out the race now. So, first retirement of this Grand Prix as we continue working on chasing down Daniel Ricciardo onto lap 17. I'd say quite quiet for us right now, but Mick Schumacher, unfortunately, out of this last race with Haas, as he makes his way down towards turn 8. Of course, we know Schumacher will be back with Haas next season, get a second season on his contract. So the Alfa Romeo and the Williams car going through there, but it'll be a scoreless campaign for Haas at the end of it, and it's been torrid for that team, for Schumacher and for Mazepin to not get a single point on the board in their rookie seasons here in the Ultimate Career universe. But Schumacher pulls the car over, game over for the German, and he'll be back next season to try and get some points on the board that time around in F1 22. As we come through on our lap 17 ourselves, we'll see him there ever so slightly on the left-hand side to go through. So Schumacher out then, down to 19 cars in this race then, and we've got to work chasing down Ricciardo once again. We're 3.9 behind, obviously the soft tyres starting to wear out about a lap or so away from our pit window at this point. On to lap 18 then, the end of lap 18, and we'll go into our last pit stop of the Grand Prix onto a set of medium tyres that gets to the end. Ricciardo pitted on lap 17, so we'll obviously come up behind him. Norris is there too, but Norris is yet to make his stop as well, so I imagine we'll probably emerge close to him, or he'll stay with Ricciardo rather, and then we'll also get back around Norris when he makes his stop. 2.6 seconds for our final stop then with the Red Bull team. At this point now, nothing left to fight for. It looks like we're more or less set in 4th place at this stage of the race, and then obviously in the championship too. Norris behind us all day, hasn't been able to catch us, and Verstappen, there's been no real sign of him. He's been fighting in the top 10, but he's been stuck on the train for the majority of the night here. So Verstappen looks to have lost this Drivers' Championship as Red Bull have lost the Constructors, and it looks like it's going all Mercedes' way in the closing stage of this season, unless something does go wrong later on in this Grand Prix, triggers a late safety car perhaps. But Hamilton is his race to win now. Yellow flag on lap 22 here in the end of the second sector, start the third. Verstappen fastest lap. He's still got pace in him late on this Grand Prix. And Russell's out of the race. Honestly, it was a Williams, and I thought for a second it'd be Latifi, and all of a sudden history will start repeating itself in F1 2021, but not to be. It's Russell this time, so Mercedes can breathe a sigh of relief. But watching obviously their junior driver in Russell having a problem late on in this Grand Prix. We'll not see the checker flag in what could be his last race for Williams. We're hearing rumours in terms of Mercedes next season, but of course we've also got our eyes on a few seats elsewhere in the paddock after our departure from Red Bull. So Russell pulls over, game over for him, internal failure on the car, no smoke, so it gets that all okay, but we'll pass Russell here on our right hand side going towards turn number 11, and Leclerc's still closing. He's about 5 seconds behind us as it stands, but he's closing that little bit as we make our way further on to the remainder of the race here. On to lap 25, Leclerc now 1.5 behind us. Yellow flag again. That's a Ferrari there going slow. That looks like Leclerc's teammate Carlos Sainz, of course, reaching the end of his first season with Ferrari, but we'll focus on the one behind us for now. Leclerc within DRS range now. Max Verstappen has escaped the train. He's now 1.7 behind us in P6 as it stands. Of course, can't win the championship. We've got to try and beat him if we can in the closing laps here. On to lap 26, but what is going on with Carlos Sainz? I went back and watched this when the Grand Prix was over, and there's no actual mechanical failure here on the car, but he spins the car going into turn 11 and leaves it there stranded in between 11 and 12. A few cars going through, but then he backs himself onto the racetrack, but a few more cars coming in, so he's got to stop sort of on the circuit here. It's quite similar to being stuck on a roundabout, perhaps going too far forward, being on the roundabout by accident. But Sainz comes through then and gets the car going again without too much fuss. Doesn't really get in his way too much. It's quite a wide part of the circuit, that chicane, but no points on offer for him today. Leclerc though still closing that gap. Has got DRS here with 2 laps to go as we make our way towards the end of what's been quite a dreary Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hope the new layout makes it a bit more entertaining next season. But Verstappen is caught right up here, so we're going to get a 3-car scrap in the closing laps with my teammate and one of the rivals over the course of the campaign. Of course, Leclerc had a few scraps to them over the course of the season, but nothing too major. So Verstappen to the outside, Leclerc closing in. It's going to be 3 wide, going down towards turn number 11 here. Leclerc and Verstappen both clearance for a second. We're trying to outbreak the pair of them. Leclerc goes across the circuit as he did earlier when we fought him, and Verstappen gets all out of favour. Leclerc maintains place, so it's back to as we were, but this time we hold on and get a bit more of an advantage here in 4th place. As you push further on now towards the hotel section, we've only got about a lap or so to hold off these two, and obviously they'll probably get one last opportunity going down towards turn 8 and then one more towards turn 11, but we'll see if they don't actually get close enough for that to actually even make that move as he push further on now, keeping those two at bay, and on to lap 28, the final lap of the race and the season. The World Championships both settled at this point in the Grand Prix. We're going to get one last fight with Leclerc and Verstappen on this closing tour, as Leclerc right behind us lines up one last attack with DRS to his advantage. Going to try and break the toe here, but Leclerc follows our slipstream, going to pull over to the left hand side, perhaps goes over to the right, making his way down towards turn number 8, and once again defending the inside as he's done all day on Leclerc, making our way through on the inside, outbraking, but Leclerc stays in front of us this time. It's quite close, and that's around him, and Verstappen pulling alongside, tries to help us squeeze out Leclerc, but pushing on further ahead on the circuit. Lewis Hamilton is on his way through here to the last couple of corners on the circuit and is about to tie Michael Schumacher in the Ultimate Career Universe for the most World Championships. It was denied last season by his teammate Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen. He won the last race of the season as a sign of intent, he said, and comes to the last corner. The World Championship record is equalled. Lewis Hamilton, 7-time champion of the world, but the race is not over behind him, because while Bottas takes second and Ricciardo takes third, we're fighting the closing laps here for 4th place. Here comes Leclerc, might get one last chance at us, going down towards turn 11 and get closer and closer. Where will he go? Pulls to the outside of the racetrack again. Poor move, Charles. He goes to defend the inside once more, get a better line going through. He's still side by side, but Lewis crosses the line. Verstappen might win out here. Those two going side by side once more through turns 11, 12 and 13, but we're now in front, and P4 looks more or less secure in both the race and the championship. No sign of Norris today. He's giving us no real pressure, but Norris actually closing in on both Leclerc and Verstappen here. It's going to be a little 4-car train coming towards the line as you come through to cap off what has been an entertaining season, to say the least. It's had its surprise, its ups and downs. 3 victories, could have been potentially even as many as 7, given the races we lost through reliability. But through the last 2 corners now to cap it off and make peace with the season as a whole. Through the final corner then, and our season with Red Bull comes to a close. P4 in the race, P4 in the standings. Season's over.
Alright, I know it's been a rough year, but let's try to stay positive. Even the greats had some poor seasons, so we'll knuckle down over the winter and come back stronger next time.
Jeff, it's been a pleasure. Goodbye 2021, and moving on to 2022.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. They've done it then. Victory in the last race of the season and the championship as well. What a phenomenal end to a terrific Formula One season. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So Hamilton wins once again here in Abu Dhabi. Bottas second, Mercedes 1-2 to win the Constructors' Championship for them. Ricciardo gets a McLaren podium late on in 3rd place. So good result race from him. Let's have a look at the last results from Abu Dhabi and how that impacts the final tables in the drivers and constructors.
Let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Nothing can challenge the leaders of the Constructors' Championship at this point. But it's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So the rest of the top 10, then we finished in 4th place. Verstappen takes P5 in the end. Leclerc 6th, then it's Norris, Alonso, Gasly and Ocon rounding out the top 10. Vettel fell back in the end and didn't score any points. Sainz came back from P19 to P14. That spin in the end obviously not helping him later on in the Grand Prix. But overall, that'll do it then. Mercedes have trounced us here at Red Bull, and they've won both championships. Hamilton wins the title over Verstappen, changing history in 2021. A second season where the world champion here is different to the world champion in real life. But 28 points to gap between Max and Lewis in the end of the season. Bottas takes third, and we finish in fourth, which is an improvement on our finish position in 2020 with AlphaTauri. 10 points over Norris, the gap between P4 and P5. 32 between myself and Bottas. Could it have been third place for us? Who knows? Mercedes win the Constructors then. Red Bull second, but by 60 points overall. I said that doesn't tell the full story of the season. Alpine take P6 over Aston Martin in the end by that 1 point, and Williams and Haas were scoreless for a second season here. But guys, that'll do it for Ultimate Career Season 2 on F1 2021. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for the support this season. I hope you're looking forward to 2022 as much as I am. If you are, make sure to smash the like button, get subscribed for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I shall see you guys in my next video. Goodbye, and see you in 2022.